is a pain in the butt. You hit your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. 'Cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to another episode of the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, where we have steamrolled into the third major of the year. The US Open is upcoming this week at one of the great open venues. Hosted the US Open more than any other. Yes, we are talking about Oakmont, which has absolutely no oak trees. We will get onto that in a moment. We've got Mick, we've got myself, we've got Kieran, and we've got Jacob. Just a quick roundup. How are we all? We all okay? It's the first time we've been together for a while.
I know. Weird, huh?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good?
Get on with it.
Cool.
Get on with it. Get on with it. Jacob knows who's going to win already, so.
I do, yeah. I want to tell you quick.
Okay, fine. Good chat.
Straight to it.
We have, as always, with the major previews, just everything about the course, and then we're going to be chatting about who will win. We didn't get it right.
No, he came second.
He came second.
So I've gone 1-2, which
It's pretty good.
I'm quite happy with.
Like, admittedly, I think whenever we are doing predictions, we should have like a little bit of a Scotty asterisk because
Yeah.
it's
At
kind
the
of
moment, definitely.
yeah, it's kind of like one of those where Tiger was not. This isn't an exact comparison, but when Tiger was in his pomp, to actually have any kind of interesting conversation,
Yep.
it was like, who's going to win apart from Tiger?
This is where like betting places will start offering odds on like this person will win without Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
It's just like, got to get rid of him because it's just like pointless. I will say though, before anyone thinking, oh, Jacob's going to say, it's not Scotty Scheffler. I'm going to say that now.
Oh.
So stick around to hear who it is because it might surprise you.
Does it not have an asterisk though?
No, it doesn't have an asterisk. It doesn't have an asterisk.
What's his name playing?
He's not going to win.
Scotty's apparently not going to win.
there you go.
Apart from his. So, what we've been up to recently, comps.
A lot of comps.
A lot of comps. I just wanted to get it out there early. Open qualifying, the tee time has been announced, 12:50 p.m. on Monday, the 23rd of June.
It's a nice time.
It's a
At
good
Coldy.
time.
It's a favourite. I like that
I
time.
like that time.
That's the nice time.
Jacob does not want to get up early and drive to
Couldn't wait
Goldie.
for that 6:47 a.m. tea time.
Yeah, that I would have personally preferred that one, but oh well.
Do you not think like because maybe you'll go about it differently, but by that point you will start to see some scores.
I don't know if that's good for you, though.
I just want to get it over and done with.
It all depends. Certainly a course like Coldy, where it's right on, not exactly the coast, but it's on an estuary. It's pretty close. It's so weather dependent. Like we were up in Dornoch playing in the Northern Open last week, and
It's all a blur.
literally, and it was the later starters on the second day got just like a massive advantage.
Sure,
as
right.
far as like the wind is concerned. So if we tee off at 12:50 and it's absolutely battering me down
After sunshine all morning.
tempest
Yeah.
winds in the morning, then all right, fine. I
Yeah.
can deal with that.
So you're saying it's more of a just a if you got the right side of the draw rather than knowing the scores.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the weather on the day, obviously. But certainly, as you get nearer the coast, those changes do become more extreme. Like with opens, as in British Opens, proper opens.
This is the preview
they are
podcast
so
for the US Open.
they are so much more dependent on like the weather. Like usually, generally speaking, and again, this is very generalization. At the US Open, for example, if it rains, it's generally going to be like raining throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like the winds don't fluctuate that much on like an inland course. But yeah, the Open's a lot more open to the elements.
Have you seen the weather report for? I mean, we'll get into the US Open in a bit more detail after we've got these news items out of the way. But have you seen the weather report for the coming weekend? Looks a bit wet
For Pennsylvania.
for the US Open.
Right. No,
It
I
does look a little
haven't
bit
seen-
wet, which means the course is going to be playing easier than if it was dry because the greens will be much more receptive. The rough will be more difficult if it has rain.
That's the issue. Yeah.
But the attacking of the greens and the putting will be much easier on a course that's very slightly damp. Than
Well, I think
if
it's
it was
wet
really
already.
dry.
I think
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday's been really bad.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, Friday looks decent, and then like you say, it's getting a little bit wetter as the weekend goes on. But
Do they going to play left clean and place in the fairways?
Apparently not on majors anymore. No, they just don't do it. So we've got So obviously Tuesday. So yesterday we've got the Roll Sing Ports video coming out. One of my new favourite courses.
Yeah.
God.
And actually play some amazing golf there. And what else have we got coming out? We've got Not End this week as well.
Yes, Thursday.
Yes, in theory.
No, Mick, we are.
it's out on Thursday. It's in the diary.
Cool.
Theory is a fine thing, but it's
I need to work very hard for
there
the
in the
next 3
diary.
days, basically.
So that's going out, and that's kind of me defending my trophy from last year. And then
Did you ever get a trophy or a check?
No, it was spiritual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was-
I carried
was
it
like,
around
well
in my
done.
soul,
You golfed it really well.
basically.
Okay, nice.
I don't. Is it like literally just comp videos all the way to the Open?
It's getting to that way, yeah. I mean, you went and filmed another video on Friday.
Yeah, with Phil Kenyon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was basically a comp.
Kieran said that he had to change card 3 times.
Honestly,
How long was the lesson? Like,
about 3 hours.
really?
Well, I asked you, like, how long is this going to take?
In a very Kieran way.
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
and then you were like, well, he asked that he wanted 5 hours. He wanted 5 hours at the time, and it started at 1 o'clock on a Friday. I was like, Jesus.
I am not getting to the pub.
Yeah, but, ended up being what, 4 hours? 3 hours?
Yeah, I think it's just
Wow.
under 4. But it was quite a surprise to me.
Unbelievable.
But it just shows like with Phil, he's obviously he's literally the best putting coach in the world. And when he said, yeah, how long are you going to need? He said, yeah, it's going to be about 5 hours. And even I was like, listen, Phil, I'm looking forward to this, but that does seem a long time.
Yeah,
There's
imagine-
a lot of putts.
There's a lot of hunching as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah, on the
Can you
back.
imagine being like bent over your ball? I mean, your posture probably should.
Oh, no, posture's changed.
Has
Yeah,
it?
but-
Yeah, pretty much everything's changed.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Perfect. Just before Open qualifying, let's change everything. Are you Rory McIlroy?
Well, we're going. I tell you what, though, he was starting to like edge. I was getting a little bit concerned because he was starting to edge towards changing my putter.
Yeah.
And I was like, Phil, like,
So what?
Yeah.
So,
Just,
with a little bit of a spoiler for the video, but my aim is not great.
The people in the comments feeling validated right now.
with my putter. Why? What have people been?
People say you missed the ball left quite a lot.
Okay, well, I'm aiming right. So,
You're aiming too far right.
oh, so yet again, maybe it's proved that you don't listen to the comments on a YouTube comment section.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone.
It's like if you ever read a news article, don't scroll down to the comments.
Oh, no.
I just don't go there. There's no point.
They don't know.
Nobody knows anything anywhere in the world at any time,
Apart from Phil Kenyon.
apart from Phil. But yeah, my aim was like massively off to the right. Well, not massively, but it was off to the right side. And it was off by I think it was about 2 degrees,
Wow.
which isn't a lot in the context of shorter putts. But obviously, if you're hitting a 30-foot putt and you're 2 degrees off, all of a sudden you're aiming like about 4 foot outside the hole.
Wow.
So it was big changes on that, but we were changing the line on the ball, because I was aiming the ball wrong as well. So it wasn't just my putter alignment. When I put my ball down, I was aiming it to the right subconsciously.
Wow, okay.
So I thought I'm
way.
aiming it straight, but I'm aiming
But
it
it was
right.
a little bit, wow.
It was quite interesting because like you could just kind of see Pete internally kind of like question himself.
Everything.
Like everything about
Yeah,
himself.
wow.
Like about his eyes, about everything. You know?
Well, it was quite like in the video as well. We'll see he got like an alignment tool out, and he got me positioned over the ball. But he was saying like, where does it look like this is aiming? And I'm like, well, this actually looks like it's aiming left when it was straight.
It was banging, right, okay.
And apparently this is a real thing. Like when you put a ball down, when you're over the ball, when you're looking at a target from different perspectives, depending on how your brain works, you'll see it aiming right, left. Very
Oh, no, I get that. Because I'm using the stripe and you put it down and then you come over the top of it and you think, bloody hell, that's like much more further inside left or right than I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I find with the light. Like I like it if you've got a point and you think you can pick it, but then I do sometimes get over the ball and it doesn't feel right, and that's when you just start to, just before you hit it, you open it up a bit. Or,
Well, this is the exact thing that Phil Kenyon said on the podcast last week, is that's one of the things they changed in Scotty, is that they got him to not putt with the line because his intuition over picking an aim was so good. He would set the ball down and then get locked on where he'd put the line.
Yeah.
And suddenly his intuition and where he's placed the ball are battling against each other and he misses the putt.
I'm looking forward to that then. That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Went through a lot. I mean, I think what it's going to be I don't know how long this video is going to be. Is anyone down to edit this yet?
No, but I think it might be me.
Two-parter. It's
So
a
we've-
two-parter.
We've got Phil Kenyon. I don't think it's down yet. Obviously, Dawn at PJ Champs that we're doing playing this week. Fingers crossed, make the cut. So that might be 2 videos. So we're gonna have to allocate these. But I think with the Phil Kenyon video, I might have to
needs steering.
go from like in the studio with the tech, maybe to down in the PJ Champs. Maybe just do some outdoor stuff to
Break it up a bit.
to break it up a touch. Yeah.
Now 3 hours.
It just needs kind of like, just steering and just like, because he's, gets on such a long, a long conversation about something. And obviously, like, some people might find it interesting, some people might not. But like, he goes on things for quite a long time. So you just need to help him along
And if you
help the video.
and if you want all 4 hours
Yeah.
of uncut
Yeah.
footage,
Uncut.
make sure you join the Discord because I'll make Jacob do that edit as well.
that's
Export the video
genuine.
straight away.
I'll just pull the clips onto the timeline.
Yeah,
and
just drop them on. Was it one camera?
2 cameras.
No,
So you had
Two camera,
all right, okay, cool. Wow.
Yeah, it was intense. So all that to look forward to. It is pretty interesting.
It was amazing how he's so interested in everything. That was the thing that I took away from it. It's just like he's so involved, so
Yeah, it's proper coach.
he's so like invested in you, and that's amazing.
But it's proper coach, but it's also more like when you get to the elite level. Like if when I look at that, and when I was going through that lesson, and when I compare that to lessons I had off good coaches when I was younger, it's
you can see the difference.
it's night and day. It's
Really?
literally
Wow, okay.
night and day. Well, that covers it. That is it. Dorset coach.
Yeah.
That always comes back to me. Kieran had
the one,
explain
two-
Like what county? Like what are you gonna say?
the one
The
two
counting thing.
tempo
Oh, the 1 2 about like sort of tempo stuff. So we would go on a range, and he would get us to count 1 to 10 from back behind the ball into the setup and into the follow through. And the idea is that you do 1, 2, 3. It's all about tempo sort of stuff. So I was really good at the time.
Yeah, but it's a very useful thing in that situation.
Yeah.
But when the thing that you're struggling with is very intricate.
Yeah.
Like if you're struggling with standing over the ball for too long, I imagine that, and overthinking it, I imagine that that's quite useful. But in a situation like Pete, where you're already very good at it, and you're just trying to.
It's all right, mate. You can say it. It's horse crap. The whole thing is crap. But it reminds me of like lessons I had when I was a kid, and the level of detail coaches go into now compared to that is completely ridiculous. And it's good because there is a lot of tempo-based work within this. And I was just thinking back to that lesson that you were describing, Kieran, when that.
So you're telling me Phil Kenyon didn't tell you to count to 10 to get over a putt?
It
and hit
basically
no?
got us to walk into the studio over the putt.
2, 3.
But there is a lot of tempo work.
There's a lot of tempo.
Yeah, there's a lot of tempo
Okay,
work.
good. Well, that's great.
Right. Okay. So on to the US Open. Now, it is at Oakmont Country Club, which is in Pennsylvania, which is in America somewhere. It's the 10th US Open at Oakmont. Now, this is the most of any course that's hosted US Open. It's not.
Kieran's microphone
Sorry.
is haunted. Unwrap the cable, I reckon.
Or just do it like.
No.
Oh,
Oh.
hang on.
Oh.
There you go.
There we
Well done.
We are in the process of
That's
purchasing
science.
some new microphone stands. So be ready for that.
I mean, if people start watching and listening a little bit more, I would gladly do that. So tell your friends.
Everyone comment. You need new mic stands.
We
And then we'll get
have. Yes,
is this your favourite US Open course?
No, I mean, I love Pinehurst, so
So what's wrong with this one?
there's nothing wrong with this one. There's nothing wrong with any golf course at its basis. When did I ever say there was anything wrong with Oakmont?
Well-
When did the words escape my lips of, oh, I don't like Oakmont?
Just now. And I'm going to clip it so that it sounds like you said it.
Jeez. It's, I mean, I think a lot of people would benchmark this as, it's not the home of the US Open, but I think when a lot of people think of a US Open course, it is Oakmont that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because it's hosted a lot of major championships. It's a very tough venue, which the US Open is synonymous with. And it's often referred to as the gold standard US Open golf. It's not actually the longest course in the world. So 7,300 yards, but it's more
Short knocker.
It's still very long.
Well, we'll put it this way: the course I'm playing for the PGA Champs this week is only 100 yards short.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
But is it par 70?
And it's not Oakmont. I can tell you that.
It's not
the
thick rough.
rough is not 5-inch thick.
Good.
The rough, it's always the case. Like when you get before US Open, it's always like, oh, look at the rough, look at the greens, whatever it's going to be.
We've all seen the videos.
Well done, everyone.
The rough is very, very, very thick. It's just so dense. Like that's what kind of gets me. It looks like you could lie on it and just like drift off to sleep.
Have you seen Ben Griffin's videos of the rough? Mm-hmm. Those have made me die because he uses a max fly. So he's chucking it in, and all the comments is just like, "Yep, that's where I'd find a max fly." Yeah, that's right.
Precept.
Yeah. Oh, Ben.
Fair play. He's playing very well with a max fly.
Yeah.
It's honestly, Anyway, sorry.
I think from have you watched Bryson's video?
Yeah,
when he was there
yeah.
as well. I mean, obviously Bryson's a little bit of a different animal as far as like strength and power when it comes to the rough. With the rough, it looks like it is very penal, but it does look like you can get it back out, even if it is just wedging it back into the fairway. The greens look interesting.
Yeah.
So it's one of the oldest courses in the US, but it's gone under a restoration by Gil Hands. Mm-hmm. And he is taking it back to its roots, which is a very fashionable thing to do, you'd probably say, at the moment with golf courses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's taken out pretty much every single oak tree that was there.
Have you seen them before on
So
the
it's
after photo?
It's just Mont.
It's just Mont. Yeah.
Nice. Well done.
And
Come out that yourself.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh.
And it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird.
It does look like it's like a weird barren wasteland with no trees where they were just like, here's some holes.
I mean, I think taking trees out is something which, if it's a golf club and you're a member of a golf club, whenever a greenkeeper suggests taking trees out, there's always uproar. People hate taking trees out. But generally speaking, taking trees out, as long as it's not crazy at most golf courses, is good. Because it kind of helps air circulation, it helps drainage, all the rest of it. But to take out every single tree, effectively from a golf course that has a tree in its name, is striking.
And as a lover of standalone trees, you must be just...
They had so many options just to leave a few trees.
Just a couple.
Just a couple, yeah, exactly. Like, you just leave them at 150 yards for a marker.
That tree
That's a
could have
good
come
idea.
like really synonymous with Oakmont, like just a singular oak that was just next to the fifth or something that everyone knew that was...
Yeah.
And they got rid of them all.
Now the logo of
Cut them all
Oakmont
down.
is just going to be like a blank space.
It's just a stump.
It's that tumbleweed.
Chopped
Yeah.
off.
It's just Mont and then a few bunkers. Got the church few bunkers.
They actually haven't even removed the oak. They've just scribbled over it.
Yeah. So anyway, but it looks like a very striking golf course. I didn't realize it's got a road running underneath it as well.
That was cool.
There's an aerial, I don't know which, it might even have been the fried egg video, but there's an aerial clip and there's a green and then there's probably about 10 yards and then there's a motorway.
There's the 11th tee, the new back 11th tee is basically the wall is blocking off the motorway behind it.
No
Yeah.
way.
That's where they put it all the way back,
Yeah. And then there's like this.
And then
section
goes underneath, yeah.
It's quite weird because with Bryson's video, I was watching it and we're up in Scotland, I was doing some stretching and just like, it was on in the background. And it was one of those where I looked at it, did a bit of a stretch and was like,
They look like they're coming towards you, didn't
Yeah,
they?
I was like, I must have not seen that right. So kind of rewound it. So no, there's a road under the course. It's like, right, okay, fair enough. So there's
Of course
that.
there is.
And I mean, I am, as we all know from Didsbury, I'm not a huge fan of a golf course next to a motorway. So Oakmont is just the Didsbury
Wow.
of the
Clip
US.
that.
That's a clip. Could you say that more clearly into the
A
camera?
bit longer with thicker rough. That's kind of
basically the same thing.
all it is, yeah.
Yeah.
5 inches. And there's with the rough as well, there's no first cut.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's the only difference. Because 2016, there was a little bit of a
Slow down zone.
A slowdown zone, exactly. Yeah, I watched the fried egg video, and then I watched all of Dustin Johnson's televised shots from the final round in 2016, and that was
So many.
Two of the things I took away from it was one that the first cut was there was something, and two, I don't think I've watched a round of golf where I've seen so many putts from within 3 foot break so much. Yeah. There was so many putts that he was, where naturally a player would just rock up and tap in. So many breaking hard around the hole. And that's the thing I'd take, like the greens there look interesting and quick.
Yeah, you have to
Real
be. You
quick.
have to be in the right place, otherwise you're just putting yourself in big 3-putt territory.
And I think some of the like yardage of the holes don't necessarily like play out, because when you look at, I know obviously they hit it so far now, but when there's these sort of 470 par fours, but they play big downhill, things like that. Like I think the 10th maybe is like a big downhill hole, but then you're hitting to a green that's also then fading away, and you're hitting off. And that was one of the takeaways from the fried egg videos. They were saying about it's kind of on lots of slopes and lots of, not many kind of flat lies, and you're either hitting down or up, and it's just really tricky to kind of hit wedges into greens, because it's a lot of feel and a lot of technique that goes behind it, opening the face, closing the face. So it's going to take a lot to win round there this week.
It also has a 301 yard par 3.
Well, yeah.
Now, no matter how you phrase it, that's a long par 3. Which, for me, is
disgusting.
Is stupid.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Hate long par 3s, especially something like that. That's just ridiculous.
What is the ideal par 3 length?
Every par 3 should be under 175 yards. If you can't make a good par 3 under that distance, then what's the point?
I think a great example would be where we've just been, Dornoch, where all of them were under 150 and there were just deep bunkers around it, and then just, big slopes and stuff. Obviously, like postage stamp as well, like,
Yeah, and they were frigging terrifying.
Yeah, so it's,
Well, were we not having this conversation last year about, where Wyndham won, where there was like, where it was like 73 yard par 3, but pin position and the way the hole's designed and everything like that, that's all it takes. You don't need it to be, you don't hit the green, it still can be a 5.
I think there's a huge difference between having a tough, fun, memorable par 3 and then making one 301 yards. So that's memorable for the wrong reasons, because it's impossible to make that interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have an interesting green with that length of the shot, because everyone's just going to be hitting either 3-wood. It's just, there's going to be a fair number of the fields probably going to hit a driver into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's making it tough, and it's
Just
making
a
it
ridiculous
stupid.
thing to say.
I just don't.
That is a ridiculous thing to
just
say.
don't. I don't like stuff like that. I love the fact that the US Open is the toughest test in golf. I love it has that identity. I love the fact that around level par is the score that's probably going to win. But not doing it like that. That's just stupid.
No, I agree.
Anyway, off me.
It's
Off my box.
You're quite right, though. The battle against the technology that has come into play in the last few years has just been to make everything tighter and make the rough longer and thicker, and make the holes 700 yards.
It's not a battle against technology. That just needs to be a battle against common sense. It's just not going to work out how they want it to, because the battle of technology and the battle against technology and to make courses play to par will not be done through distance, because if you make it long and you make the rough super thick, that plays into the hands of the longer hitters more. Because Bryson at Shinnecock, they basically Bryson-proofed that golf course. They made it incredibly long. They made the rough as thicker than really Oakmont, and yet he still won.
You mean Wingfoot?
Wingfoot, yeah. Because it was super long. He just bombed it down there, gouged it out to around the front of the green, made a few putts and got up and down. Like, that's not a tough test of golf. That's just ploughing and heaving.
He may have as well have had a scythe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, he's just harvesting that golf course.
And we're back on the Industrial Revolution. Thank you so much, Peter Finch.
Agricultural revolution.
That was definitely one, like you say, like you kind of, because obviously that was in his sort of beefy era, and you just knew that was his game plan, and it just fell into his hands. And it was like, the US Open is, one thing I love about the US Open is that it is a test, and it, tests everything. But you don't really know your winner. Whereas with Wingfoot, I think you did.
Yeah, 301 yards, par 3 is not testing anybody apart from patience.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I feel like I'm
Credulity.
I don't think
confident in saying this is the longest ever in US Open history, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any longer
I
than
think the
this.
thing is that over the 4 days, they'll probably play it 300 yards once, and the rest of the time it'll be a 240 and a 265 and whatever.
Still disgusting.
But it's still way too long.
Yeah.
But listen, people know what they're going to get from US Open. I think this is slightly different because of the weather as well, potentially. And because of the restoration, it's not tight. Like, you have fairways, you don't have a first cut, so you're basically there or then you're in the rough. Like. But if you wanted to lay back a little bit, it's pretty wide. Like, if you're a good long guy and a mid-iron player, you don't have to smash driver everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds stupid, but 7,300 yards isn't that long. If it's warm,
I think this is what kind of is that I don't think it plays 7-3 either way anyway, because of the elevations and the changes and stuff, like, and some of the dog legs and stuff makes it shorter. So like I say, when I was watching Dustin's round, like, he hit a lot of long irons and 3-woods off tees on a 7,300 yard course, which doesn't sound right, but
it's dry that year.
I mean, it was dry. It was average, dry, but you know,
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna say, like, the winning score this week might be towards double digits.
You think?
Yeah,
Double digits under.
because like some of the past scores. So you had Dustin 2016, he was 4 under. Angel Cabrera, who is winning every single seniors major since he's been relieved from prison. Ernie Els won at 5 under, 4 under, 5 under, 1 under. Like, the biggest score over is 1935, Sam Parks Jr., who was 11 over.
Yep.
So I've got on my notes here, he played Oakmont daily to prep. I don't know how many days that was.
The 137 days before.
Since the previous US Open.
Yeah, he just never left.
Just went.
Which is, a little bit wild. But I think...
I don't think that's... I don't think it's a disgraceful thing to say. Larry was 7 under going into the final round in 2016.
Yeah. I just got this feeling about it, with it being really wide, the rough being, yes, thick, but I don't know.
I think the players are so good that it won't matter how thick they make the rough. It won't matter how tight they make the fairways. These guys are so good that they'll find a way to make it work. Or they'll hit a shorter club so that they're in the fairway, and then they'll hit a long, like you said, like a longer one in. Or they'll smash it through the back of the green into the rough and then hack it out and get up and down. Like, they're just,
but it's that 100 and in,
enough.
isn't it? Because you say if they find the rough, hack it out, and they've still got 97 in, but they still are so good at hitting it to 5-6 foot and holing putts.
All you're trying to do at this point is avoid double. If you make a bogey, that's fine. Get one back somewhere else. But these guys are so good. I think I would like it to be like level 1 under, 2 under, but I just don't think it's going to be.
No, I just got this feeling this week, and it's not a historically as well. Putting around here is actually not that important because it is more of a ball striking golf course. However, with the changes that they've made, the greens a lot kind of, you can just feel them. You can see the slopes like a lot more. A few of the greens have been remodeled. Maybe it might put a bit more of a premium on there. But like, if you look back at US Open winners, we're not seeing many short hitters there. Like, it is all about power.
Yeah.
So who do you think, what type of player do you think is going to win then?
With an asterisk.
For God's sake.
Apart from Scotty.
Yeah.
I think, shall we do our predictions first and then actually get Jacob to tell us who is going to win?
Yeah.
It is seemingly set up for Bryson. Like, he obviously won last year, long hitter. If he goes in the rough, he can gouge it out. There's not that many players who have his amount of power, not only off the tee, but out of those bad lies. Like, he's probably the best in the world at that. You do have golfers like Ryan Fox, for example, who won the Canadian. But yeah, I'm looking at Bryson. I don't really see many players other than him, obviously apart from Scotty, who will compete.
So you're Bryson?
I think so.
I think my top 2 is, unless Rory solves some incredible problem over the course of the next 4 days.
What is going on there?
I think it comes down to whether Scotty has a 9 out of 10 week. If he does, no one will beat him. If he has an 8 out of 10 week and Bryson plays to his potential, then Bryson wins.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't really need to add much more than that. I think the only thing I would say would be that...
Brooks?
No. No, let's not.
Not Brooksy?
No.
I honestly thought you were going to say the 3-peat is coming.
No.
I kind of thought, because he only wins USPGA and US Open.
exactly.
That's all he wins.
Yeah. Nah. No, unfortunately not.
He's done, is he? Proxy's done.
It might be done. I mean, this type of thing would suit him, but yeah, let's not talk about him. But I the only thing I disagree with, I think it will be kind of. I don't think it'll be double digits because even if the US Open, like the USGA, kind of see that it's becoming easier, or see that the ability to with the greens they can get them up to something ridiculous like 15 on the stimp. So with the slopes, obviously, like so I think it's going to be no more than 6, no more. But Bryson or maybe Ludwig.
Ludwig.
Oh, I don't know about Ludwig.
Yeah,
because he's a good long iron player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of amazing players out there. So I think that's what I mean with the greens, with the course conditions. If it is going to be a bit wet, they'll be able to get the greens dry, but because of the slopes, there's only so fast that they'll actually be able to make them.
Yeah, otherwise they'll be unplayable.
Yeah. I mean, the US Open in the past has run that very ragged edge between being playable and unplayable. And like I said, if the score is getting quite low, they might just like dry them out and make them tough. But I think there is a point where if the ball isn't sitting still on the green, they'll have to like keep him a little bit playable. But we'll see. Again, we might all be wrong. It might be like 12 over par.
I can only imagine as well with the.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'd love it to be.
I can only imagine with the weather that's coming in. I can only imagine if it does get wet, the rough becomes even more.
Yeah,
that's in my head. That kind of.
But then again, it suits the longer place to fly and carry it. I've got to be honest. I think the biggest factor might be wind. Like if it's windy around there, that's a big issue. Because also you've got no funneling now through any trees or anything like that. It's quite an exposed golf course. So if it is going to be windy and you've got that rough, all of a sudden that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if it's quite calm and generally in the middle of America, it can be pretty still at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're all wrong, so...
Okay, now we have come to that time of the podcast where Jacob gets out his magical piece of paper and tells us, with a alarming degree of success, who is going to win the next major tournament.
I'm really excited about this one.
Okay. Now, you have had some success in the past. Viewers of the podcast will know that you predicted Brian Harmon. Well done, Peter. And you have been close since...
Oh,
Did we get Rory?
yeah, you got Rory.
Yeah, you got
and
Rory.
I got DeChambeau second. Is that right?
Okay, so we need another win, Jacob.
I'd love another win. Again, as if just a little prefix for the whole thing. If people haven't heard this before, I take the trends and stats that leading up into a US Open. So this is all statistically based. It's not there's nothing really anything else behind it. So who is going to win the US Open this year? So I always start off with this because it's the best way to just cut everyone down. So 9 of the last 12 winners have come from inside the top 24 in the world. And again, official Golf World Rankings is not being used at the moment. We're on Data Golf. So I'm not going to read the list because it's 24 names. 9 of the last 10 winners have posted a top 10 in at least one of the last 2 majors. Okay? So that would now be the Masters and the PGA of this year.
Got you.
So that leaves us with Scheffler, McIlroy, Schauffele, Oberg, DeChambeau, Ben Griffin, Harris English, Keegan Bradley, Justin Rose, and Corey Connors. Oh, and Sungjae Im as well. Don't want to miss out Sungjae. So it's a strong list. It's not too bad. Now, this is a kind of a disappointing stat for me because obviously I want the Europeans to do well. But unfortunately, in US Opens, Americans have been pretty dominant for the last 10 years. So much so that 8 of the last winners have come from the great United States of America, which does cut it down quite a bit. So now we're into Scheffler, Schauffele, DeChambeau, Griffin, English, and Keegan Bradley. It's an interesting list. It's a mix. It's a mix.
Can you see where this is going?
I'm not sure. I like the way this is going.
Now, this stat actually really surprised me because you would think a US Open test would be someone who's held pedigree in majors and, has done it multiple times and has got that, has just been gritty and worked out how to play this type of golf. But actually, in the last 10 years, 7 of the previous winners have never won a major before. It's only been Spieth, Koepka and DeChambeau that had previously won a major whilst winning the US Open. So that cuts us down to 2 names straight away.
Good Lord.
Which leaves us with Harris English and Ben Griffin.
Oh my God. What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Now, no player has... there's only been 5 players that have ever won the US Open on debut, which is what Ben Griffin would be doing this time. The last time it was done was in 1913 by Francis Ouimet. So we're going back. We're going back a while. So, by process of elimination,
You're not about to tell us what you're about to tell us.
in his 10th start in a US Open, your winner is Harris English.
That is...
Well done, Harris. And now live to Peter Finch for his reaction.
Oh, no. Listen, hey,
the stats don't lie.
Harris English is a very, very good player. Has he already won this year?
Yeah.
I think he's already won this year as well, hasn't he? So everyone's got to win a first major at some point, haven't they?
Yeah.
Everyone.
The same people don't win it all the time.
Yeah.
So why not? And, we all chuckled when you said Brian Harman as well,
Exactly.
apart from me. But it's going to be interesting to see if Harris can do it.
Don't get me wrong, it feels a bit stinky saying it, but you never know.
Do you know what? This is actually the first time since Brian Harman that you've picked an outsider.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I quite liked it, because I just thought, I'm going to sit down this morning, I'm going to write this all out, and it's going to be Bryson, it's going to be Scotty. And don't get me wrong, Scotty does rank up pretty. The only thing against him is basically that he's won a major before, which is a bit whiffy. But, I just wanted to be a little bit different. And I said,
I want to cast your minds back to 2022.
Gosh, I wonder where you were going there.
2020,
1846.
Francis Ouimet had just teed it up.
2022 St Andrews US Open 150th. On the practice day on the Monday, we were in the Jigger Inn. I don't know if you were there. I think you
Yeah,
might
I
have
was
been
there,
You
yeah.
were there. We've got who have we got? Laura Davis having some fish and chips, and then in walks 2 people: Brian Harman, who you predicted,
Yeah.
and the other guy
and Harris
following
English.
him was Harris English.
Wow, that's a good point. This could be full circle.
This could be very full circle. That's why I put
Brian Harman and Harris English walk in, and what else walked in?
What else?
Yeah, they're incredible captains.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we are talking about 2 fried eggs,
This, you know what I mean? Like,
reverse fried eggs.
it would complete the puzzle. They would complete the puzzle.
I mean, if that's the thing, like, who we are basing our major picks on who we happen to see at a pub.
Hey, I like that. That's right. I like that.
But if we really are going to use that as the harbinger of what's about to happen, does that mean that coming full circle back to the Open that you're going to get in?
I just want to say at 10:46 in the morning, use the word harbinger, which is
What does that even mean?
pretty impressive.
Like
bringer.
a sign or like an omen.
Wow, a harbinger. Sorry, what was the question?
He's been reading books all weekend.
Yeah, I have actually. Does that mean about O.J. Simpson? Does that mean that if all of that comes full circle, if we're taking all the factors from Kieran's story, right?
Yeah.
Brian Harman wins the Open.
Right.
Harris English is Jacob's prediction for this weekend.
Yeah,
He wins that.
Yeah.
You're in the Jigger Inn on the 17th at the home of the Open Championship.
Right.
You're going to go and do something this year, which we don't expect either, which is you
Right.
to go and qualify for the Open, make the cut, finish top 10.
yeah. I mean, Laura Davis was also there.
About to say that was my next thing.
Does that mean
She'd
she's
be
going to win the
There's,
Open?
there's a chance that she is going to have a better chance than me. So, well done, Dame. Well done.
Dunk.
You did it.
God. R.I.P. T-boxes.
So, also on this with picks, now we have got our major picks on the go. Just to fill everyone in on this, what we did at the start of the year is we picked a draft of players who are in our teams. We pick 3 players from the top 50 in the world on Data Golf Rankings, and then we pick 1 player from outside our wild card pick. My team of Rory, John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, and Jordan Spieth is currently in the lead. Now, the way that we do it is you get a number of points awarded for where they finish in a major. If they miss the cut, then the points awarded is for the amount of players who missed the cut. Made the cut.
Correct. Yeah. So you want a low score.
Yeah, the player with the person with the lowest score at the end of the year wins. I am currently in the lead with 222. The PGA Champs kind of it biffed us all.
It did
a little bit.
Some more than others.
Mick had
don't.
Literally the worst week. Every single one of his players missed the cut. So he's on.
Oh, look at the list of players! How did they all miss the cut? It's ridiculous.
383, and then Jacob and Kieran are tied on 297. So I've got a little bit of a lead built up, but that's basically 1 missed cut at the US Open for me. Rather annoyingly, all our wild card picks missed the cut. So Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Sahith. Is Sahith playing?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I hope so.
Because he pulled out of the RBC, didn't he?
Did he? Goodness me.
And then Thomas Dietrich as well.
Well, that's why, because Sahith didn't play in the PGA.
Brooks Koepka and Russell Henley. So Russell Henley's on Jacob's team.
Yeah,
Brooks is on Kieran's. They've missed both cuts now in the majors.
The players here with the surname beginning with T: Cameron Tankersley, amateur.
Nice.
Nick Taylor, Justin Thomas, Davis Thompson, Austin Truslow.
Oh, God. No.
Sahith Tagala.
Auto miscut. So
should we just put it?
We
No, actually, we
don't know how many people are going to miss the cut, but you're going to get that many points.
Oh, wow. This is smelly. And we have basically the forfeit. Whoever loses fills up the food cabinet. The food cabinet for last year is being filled today. So the delivery should arrive today.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Because the reason it's a delivery is because you're not going to be here.
I'm literally...
When we finish this, the reason that we're not recording it on your camera is so that you can leave straight away.
Basically. I'm around quite a lot. Kind of worked it out like the last 2 weeks, and then the next 3 weeks, I think I'm sleeping in my own bed like about 5 times.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's not great. It's not great.
Just checking the rest of Jacob's team.
Oh my God. Are all the people missing out?
Russell Henley
They will
should
be,
be
because they're all in
the
the top 50. So,
by the way, Russell Henley he's kind of dropped off a lot.
yeah.
I don't actually think I've seen him.
No,
Like,
I
is
know.
Russell Henley missing?
No, I think
Has anybody reported him?
I think he's there or thereabouts.
Is he on the back of a milk carton somewhere?
Maybe. He's playing like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Tommy you could always kind of bank on to make a cut. Scotty's obviously
Winning.
Can you bank on him? Can you bank on him?
Of course you can.
I
don't think he's missed a cut all year.
I mean, Jordan Spieth around Oakmont does not fill me with amazing amounts of confidence, to be honest with you. But Colin, yeah. John, yeah. Rory, what is...
Who's going to turn up?
What is going on with Rory and his driver?
He had
Seriously.
He had a fitting the other day. Did you not see it?
No, but like we're talking... I understand. I do understand, and I completely get this, how every single golf club in a player's bag does matter, and players have definite favourites. Like that mini driver I've got in my bag at the moment, it is amazing. I absolutely love it. I would back myself to be able to switch into the same head with the same setup and have similar results there.
You're also talking about the second best player in the world. Like, you feel like you should be able to put most drivers in his hand and hit it pretty well.
Like, I really can't understand. Now, I know that he didn't use the new TaylorMade driver because he wasn't a massive fan of it, which is why he was in the QI10. That's the one that failed the speed test the same week as Scotty. But, like, I understand how TaylorMade probably want him to be in the new driver.
Obviously, yeah.
But if he really said, listen, I'm going into this major, I just want the same setup.
M2.
Sure, the M2, yeah. Get Justin's driver out. I am sure that they'll be able to fit him into that drive.
Yeah, 100%.
He's been fitted into it. He's been fitted in multiple times, and he still went back to the old head.
No, that's what I mean. Like, they'll be able to fit him into that old head.
Yeah.
But even with that, he just seems to be really struggling off the tee. It makes no sense. mostly with Rory though, because he is literally probably the best driver of this kind of generation. You'd say to see him struggle like that is odd, and it doesn't seem to be in it mentally from obviously when he's won the Masters, which is a worry.
His outings have not been great since then.
Do we think that driver he used at the Masters was like a little bit illegal?
Well, we did have this discussion before, and I tried to get Pete to say it on the podcast
Oh, right.
so that I could clip it. But
It's crap.
it got
It doesn't make that much
tested.
difference,
It got
yeah.
tested at the event, and then it failed afterwards. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't happy, was he? Because like Scotty's failed as well,
And his name came out.
Yeah.
So
and apparently it's all meant to be confidential.
It's all meant to be, yeah.
yeah, someone leaked it.
But
Someone leaked it.
it
Also
doesn't.
looks bad on him, looks bad on TaylorMade. Like, there's loads of things part of that we shouldn't know about. That's a tour thing. Like,
Yeah, but it's not. It's really not. It's just not a big deal.
No.
But that's just my opinion anyway.
Yeah, it does fill you with a little bit of dread, though, coming into, yes, the majors are obviously very important, but we're also thinking slightly further ahead to an event which is happening closer to the end of this year when we need Rory to be driving the ball well at the Ryder Cup. Because that course could be perfect for him if he is back into bombing it mode
I
straight
think
down the
he's
middle.
just having the worst hangover in history. Like, I think that's all I can put it down to.
Yeah.
You know, the man's partied, so
It must have been a huge mental like resetting after he won the Masters, because it's obviously something which has been playing on his mind for what, a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To finally get over that line, I don't know. So it must be quite hard to then refocus, because he's already won. He's got the Grand Slam now.
Yeah.
He's cemented himself in the game. So then to re-go again and to be like, right, okay, let's win this other major. It must be quite a big emotional come down.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Isn't it kind of nice though that like Rory's going into this with horrible like driving woes, and I don't really care. Like, I obviously want him to do well, but because he's got the Grand Slam now, I'm like, well, if he misses the cut, it's fine. Like, obviously, like every major he goes into, I'll be like, please win, please win, please win. But like now, I'm like, well, he might do all right, but if he doesn't, that's fine.
Just play your best.
Yeah, it's quite a nice. Maybe it's a mental escape for all of us rather than just Rory.
Just, oh, Rory, it's great to see you again.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Oh, are you playing in
You're
this?
playing again. Oh my god, that's so good.
Do you need to be here? Absolutely not.
Well, fair enough. But out of all our players, obviously, like Scotty's more than likely going to win. Harris English isn't on here, unfortunately. No one picked him, which is shocking. John Rahm is... John Rahm, for me, is always going to be steady, consistent. This is, I think, a good course for Colin Morikawa.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Xander here as well, by the way.
Jordan Spieth might shoot 86, 86.
I like Shane. I like Shane.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, Shane, man. I want him. I want him to do well, but him and Tommy Fleetwood right now are they're turning into the same golfer.
Ouch.
Just top 20
And
monsters.
I honestly don't mean that as like, it's not an insult. Like, Tommy and Shane are incredible golfers, and obviously two players who we need to be informed by the end of the year as well.
Yeah.
But they need to get a win, and they need to get it soon, or they're just going to fall into this bracket and get. Not obviously they're trying, and it must be frustrating for them. But we've seen this with McIlroy. Certainly at the Masters, the longer it takes you to get over the line, the harder it then becomes. And all of a sudden, 5-6 years have gone by, and you've not won. It's like, oh my god, how? Like, how is that possible after being so near the top of the leaderboard for so long?
Yeah.
If only Tommy and Shane had a friend who had gone a long time without winning and finally overcome that situation, who they could lean on.
I don't think it quite works that way with Rory. I honestly don't. Because like everyone expected Rory to win for so long. What you tend to find is, certainly with younger players, so if younger players have grown up together, probably a great example is Connor Syme on DP World Tour this week.
Congratulations.
Like, he's been such a good player for so long. He's kind of bounced around tours a little bit, but he finally got over the line and he won in the Netherlands. And what you will tend to see there is players who haven't won, who've grown up with him, all of a sudden will be like, if Connor can do it, I can do it.
Right.
I've beaten this guy so many times. You know, we've played together so long. I know that my game measures up, so why not me?
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think Rory winning the Grand Slam really does that for Tommy and thingy, because they'll be
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, you should be doing that.
And like with Tommy and Shane as well, like they've won before. Like, it's not like they can't win. Like Tommy has won comps in fantastic style. Shane has literally won a major. Like they know how to win, but the further away it gets, the harder it's going to be.
The only thing I would say about that, obviously, like we are in an era where we've got the likes of Scotty and you've got the likes of McIlroy that, you know, have been dominating the PGA Tour this year, and then also kind of in previous years as well. To win any tournament is so hard, and they're winning incredible amounts of money by just being okay. And you know, it's they don't have that at the moment. They don't have that kind of oomph, but it's so hard to do it. It's so hard.
It's the stand on the throat instinct that you need in order to win on the PGA Tour, and you definitely need to go and win a major if everyone's there. That I don't think. I mean, we haven't seen it in Shane, and I definitely don't think Fleetwood has that currently. That like hunger that Rory had.
Yeah.
Maybe Rory doesn't have it anymore now that he's done everything. Maybe that's what we're experiencing. He's
full.
Yeah.
He's eaten.
But like, for example, you get something like the CJ Cup where Scotty won at 31 under par, like that. You can't compete with that. Like, and then you know these guys, they probably still had a great week for them, but we're in an era where it's very difficult.
You
to
are
win.
all forgetting something, that Tommy does have the YouTube bump. So
Yeah,
This is true.
Yes. So talk about this.
Tommy Fleetwood started a YouTube channel.
Yes, well done, Tommy.
I couldn't love that man anymore.
Which is brilliant. Like I'm very much looking forward to seeing this, and hopefully getting a bit of a collab on the go. This would be great.
This is so good.
Wow.
Didn't see that coming.
I just imagine that Tommy starts his YouTube channel and maybe doesn't win like a major this year, say. So it takes a bit of time, builds it up over the next 6 months, and then all of a sudden like starts to win majors. And then you got Bryson.
Yeah.
Imagine Phil comes in at the US Open and wins it to complete the Grand Slam after his YouTube bump. He played well in Virginia.
Yeah.
Did you see that shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Vintage.
On I say 18. I don't know what hole it was, because whatever hole he finished on.
His final hole. So he hit a semi over his shoulder flop shot from the edge of a bunker and holed it.
Vintage Phil.
It is an unreal shot. It's an unreal shot to pull off in practice, but to do it in a comp and hole it, it was epic.
Ridiculous. So is there a future then when all four major winners in a year all have YouTube channels?
I think so.
We could get there.
You got Wes and George.
Yeah. Wow.
You got Phil. You've got Bryson.
Finch.
You got Tommy.
Peter Finch.
You've got Grant. You've got Fryer.
Sorry,
Tubes in hand.
obviously, my head has gone real light.
I think there's probably quite a few players before you get to me.
Well, maybe Bryson wins too.
Yeah. We'll give Bryson a couple. Jeez.
It's interesting though, because like
The only thing
obviously
Bryce gets is a major meltdown.
yeah, but obviously, like, Bryson has kind of started this,
Restraining order.
and there must be, some tour pros must be looking at it being like, oh, he's getting all the bumps, he's getting all the, love and all that sort of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see in the next sort of 5 years how many of these guys actually do have YouTube channels. It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, they won't be able to do it, I don't think, unless they're actually on Live, though. That's good. As far as like filming rights, image rights, and all that requirements become so much more complicated when it's PGA Tour.
Yeah, so how has he done that then? How has he... Because don't the PGA Tour own all of his make a video rights? That is odd.
This could be something that's
Oh,
changed.
no.
Tommy's about to get slapped down.
Sorry, Tom.
Okay, Jay Monahan's going to be on the phone.
Red light.
Sorry, Tommy. I saw you posted a YouTube video, but you're hitting some irons. No, we can't have that. I'm
Oh my
afraid.
god, yeah, we got Tommy's
No,
channel
I'm not-
taken
that
down.
was not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking in a week's time,
Brutal.
Majestics is going to find a space somewhere, I think.
Clinksfield is
Clinks in.
God.
Oh man, did you see Joaquin Neiman won.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
So he'll obviously
keeps
miss.
winning.
He'll obviously miss the cut.
I'm not getting into it. I'm not.
It's I've never
And
known.
John Ram finished top 10 again as well.
Of course, yeah. But his career earnings
From probably just this year, I imagine.
from when he was on PJ Tour to when he was on Live.
Unreal.
It's slightly more.
A little.
Slightly.
It's
Couple more zeros.
It's slightly more. I want to get the maths right, but I'm sure it was 17 on PJ Tour. Massive amount.
Yeah.
17.
17 million.
Oh, 17
Wow.
million. Right.
It was a fair bit.
Okay.
And I want to say he's just broken over 70
Thank God he got off the breadline.
on Live.
Gee whiz.
I want to say. I think it's on. I think I saw
He's
it on.
won. Hasn't he won 4 times this year?
Yeah, he's.
I'm on the article which I think you saw it on.
I mean,
I'm scrolling.
17 to 70 is quite the jump.
I've just had.
But Bryson was up there as well, so that was interesting as well.
49.6 million through 3 seasons.
49 points.
I didn't think he would have been on PGA Tour long enough to earn 17, but I
He
suppose
tri-
he did win a couple of big
Well,
events, didn't he?
No.
He tripled what he was
I've
what he
got
had
it
earned
here.
before.
So 15.8 on the PJ Tour, 53.5
Wow.
since joining Live.
Wow.
In 3 years.
I mean, that will
Wow.
make a significant dent in the old credit card payments, won't it?
Like you'd be able to get your extension done.
I think he probably isn't worrying about.
You won't worry about your MOT.
He could.
No, absolutely not. God, my MOT every time.
Oh, is that kind of Phil shot?
Oh, it's so Mac Boucher. Oh, it's so Mac Boucher.
I'm sure Phil would love that.
Phil kind of started it.
How good is that?
Wow.
That is like literally great.
He just wants to be Mac Boucher. Oh my god.
Just imagine if he wins the US Open. He won't. He can't.
Didn't he say that this might be his last one as well?
Yeah.
So one more go.
We will see. Right. Anyway, I've got to drive down to the south. I've got to drive down to Essex.
You picking up Sam on the way?
Yes, I am. He's running alongside the car.
He's already started. He's about 20
See you
miles
there.
away.
Yeah.
That man does like to run.
So, guys, huge thank you for watching. Huge thank you for listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and give us a follow on your favorite podcast provider. And head down into the description below and join the Discord, where we upload random videos that we don't put on the main channel, mostly for all you golf sickos out there. So, if you do have a problem, like join our Discord, and you'll find like-minded people.
It's not a place to overcome your problem. It is a place to get deeper into your
There's a lot of enablers.
Yeah. There's a lot of people talking shaft weights and course profiles.
Do you know what?
and-
There's a lot of people talking shafts. Yeah,
It's a good place to be.
that as well. All right, guys, we will see you next time.
And congratulations, Harris English.
Yeah, Harris. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That was a good surprise.
You can just see like the TikToks already that like gonna come from it.
Harris English. Just imagine.
They said that I couldn't do it, but I wouldn't. Did
Walking
it.
side by side.
like we are
the
devil. We are flying. We're flying to the US on Sunday, but I think if Harris English is up there, we should probably cancel and have a watch party.
Wow. If he's at the top of the leaderboard, I'm buying that Wi-Fi on the plane.
They might show. I hope they show on the plane. Anyway, right, we're going. Right,
See you
guys.
later.
We'll see you
Bye,
later.
everyone.
Bye.
All the best.